If you're one of those people who's struggling to blend their markers because you only have a chisel tip, you're doomed. I'm just kidding, here's exactly how to do it. First off, you need to pick colors that are similar in value. For example, blending a dark red with a light red will almost be impossible, even with the perfect technique, because they're just too different. But blending a light red with a medium red will work. And now for the technique. I often see artists use markers as if they're using colored pencils, using long streaky strokes to color in big areas. Please don't do this. Instead, gently apply your shadows using a flicking motion, then to blend it, get your lighter marker and start coloring from inside the dark area, and gradually work outwards, overlapping your brush strokes until a smooth blend is achieved. And if you're struggling and still need more help, make sure to join my art Discord server.
I'm sure by now you've seen the video where the one art student characterized her classmates as really stereotypical and ugly versus herself as being like really pretty. And some of you might rightfully feel like that's kind of offensive. And by no means is it defensible, I think. There was no reason to draw them that way. The joke would have made sense without drawing them that way. However, I do feel like the internet likes to essentially do too much black and white thinking. And so from this, they're just gonna say, girl did bad thing, girl is bad. And instead, I'd like to say maybe there's a reason that she did this other than just to get views or whatever reason. Maybe she's feeling ostracized. I think it's the beginning of like a college semester. Maybe this is her first semester and she's trying to make friends and feeling really lonely in her first art class. And all of her jokes and ways of communicating are just not landing with this new crowd. It can feel incredibly lonely and isolating in your first years of college, especially if you've moved very far away or if you're just not with your normal people. I know personally, again, not defending her, now we're gonna do more anecdotal. When I moved to college, I moved away from all of my closest friends and I felt very lonely. I never quite fit in. I took both art classes and science classes and it just felt like I had one foot in each world and didn't quite belong to either. The art students seemed to like live and breathe in art and I just didn't know how to take it that seriously because, to be quite frank, my parents didn't let me study art like that. It was like oh, that's your nice little hobby, but you have to do something real, quote unquote. So maybe she's been trying to talk to her classmates and it just hasn't gone well. She's not able to make friends and this was kind of her way of venting. Doesn't make it right at all. But I'd also like to bring up, I don't know if she's like a young adult, like freshly into college, 18, 19, 20, whatever. I mean, for some of you that are gonna say, oh, she's old enough to know better. Not everyone has the same opportunities for personal growth that you did. And this is a very big learning time in college when you first get there. Just throughout the whole college career, it's your time to finally grow as a person, usually without the influence of your parents. I know personally, I really couldn't figure out who I was until I started to get to college because I was so far under my parents' thumb. So I think before people just start jumping down her throat, if you find it distasteful, which I do, I'm just not going to support her content. I'll probably just end up blocking her. She might double down right now. She's young. That doesn't make it, again, doesn't make it right. But this is a huge area of growth right now. She might...
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me. What I'm about to do to your stubborn, annoying little planet. And enjoy it.
I know that you love me. You don't need to remind me. Wanna put it all behind me. But baby, I see her.
Can we improve this drawing submitted by Peef, who says something about it feels so weird and you don't know what? Your style looks great and I like this darker color you have, and I'll use it for all of the shadows while still keeping the darker areas you have, like under the eyes, eyebrows and neck, because less light will reach there. Then I'll darken the hair and the eyes so they match the darker shadows, and same for the lips. And even though it's all in shadow, you see how this color is different than this one? That's because the sunlight is so powerful that it hits the ground and it reflects back from below. That's called reflected light. While the blue sky above fills the shadow with its own color. That's called fill light. So I first add the orange reflected light to all of the areas that are pointing down, and then using a bluish color and pressing lightly, I'm adding the fill light to all of the areas that are pointing up. And I make sure that the reflected and fill light are not touching each other. Then I would add the saturated red on the edge here between the shadow and the light and in the face as well, and that's called subsurface scattering. So if you had a bowl with strong lighting, it will create a shadow with darker areas, reflected light, fill light, and subsurface scattering. That's the secret to strong lighting. And this is before and after. Did we improve this drawing? And if you want to improve yours, click the link in my bio.
Okay, here's an example of what not to do when drawing portraits, you guys. I do this all the time when I'm just mindlessly drawing, and usually it screws me up in the end. So learn from my mistakes, you guys. Okay, so as you can see, I'm drawing this portrait, doing the silhouette, doing the sketching, and then I think it looks so good, and I'm like, whoa, I'm so talented, but then I get so caught up with shading on that one side of the face when the other side of the face isn't even sketched yet. Like, I haven't even drawn the other eyeball at this point. So learn from my mistakes, you guys, because this always messes me up and it makes me shade way too much when I overwork one specific part of the portrait and then I have to catch up with the rest of the portrait. You know what I'm saying? Fortunately, it didn't screw me up too bad with this portrait, but in the past, it has really ruined a drawing that I really thought was good in the beginning, and then I just overwork it. But yeah, thank God this portrait still turned out good, and this whole spread is so adorable. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya!
About wherever you are. Just kidding, I already found you. Knock, knock, guess who?
Nice place you got here. Too bad it'll be the last place you ever see. he was dying if I said he wasn't hot.
You sit right down and stay a while. We like the same things and I like your style. It's not a secret. Why do you keep it?
Shorty, you P to the G to the N to the T, you pregnant, you don't know your baby daddy, where is for?
Todos me dicen que tendré un futuro complicado, que cargaré la cruz de ser lo que pude haber sido y que quizás el éxito en mi puerta haya golpeado, pero se ve que yo justo había salido. No tengo miedo a que me vean como un fracasado, nadie me dio a elegir la opción de no haber nacido. No me quieran complicar, yo no voy a ningún lugar.
They got 3 looks, and that's it. You got a homeless man, a 12-year-old boy, and a hooker.
Get on my head. Get on my head.
Sailing, sailing,